Good day, friends. This is a voice-only video because, as you know by now, I believe that a face is just a distraction. Other channels have a face narrating, but I honestly believe that words alone are far better. First of all, thank you for being here. Your presence is very much appreciated. I am really grateful for all those that listen to my channel. Today's title is How to Reprogram Your Autopilot, meaning your paradigms, to change your results, to change the way you act and react. This is probably one of the most profound videos I have yet to publish. To make sure that we are on the same page, let us examine this brief example. When you're driving to your destination, do you actively think about driving? Do you actively think about pushing the gas pedal? Are you consciously aware of using your blinkers and so on and so forth with full attention, thinking of nothing else but what you're doing whilst driving? No, you don't. I didn't think so. So actually, who was driving? You might not have been aware, but your subconscious was fully on top of what was happening. This automatism is a paradigm. For the sake of this video, unconscious and subconscious are terms that I use interchangeably. Only when your paradigms change can your life change. Figuring out what you need to do, what is best for you, just the fact that you know it, by no means doesn't mean that you will do it. If you don't believe that you can, there is no way that you will. You are your unconscious mind. Let's dive deep in explaining the functioning of the mind in these cases. It is important to realize that the mind can be mapped in the conscious and in the unconscious. In terms of computing power, let's call it that. 5% of the processes are conscious and 95% are unconscious. When evaluating between the power of the unconscious over the power of the conscious mind, we are dealing with an exceptional order of magnitude in favor of the unconscious. Let us suppose that we are aiming to do great things in life. To do so, we have to harness and utilize the power of the unconscious mind. Whilst the conscious mind is the driver of the two, the power of the subconscious mind is incomparable to that of the conscious mind. Some say 1,000,000 times more powerful than the conscious mind. We, therefore, need to involve the subconscious mind by programming it towards the goal that we have set for ourselves. The process is definitely not easy, but it is quite simple once you understand how to do it. The input, or the seed to be planted, has to come from the conscious mind. The subconscious mind will grow and develop whatever you plant in it. The unconscious mind is always at work, but unfortunately it doesn't discern that which it comes in contact with. Good or bad is not something your subconscious can tell apart. It is very objective in that sense. If your thoughts and emotions are negative, it will be busy elaborating and developing a negative reality for you. The same goes for the opposite. If you feed your subconscious, later we will see how to do it, positive thoughts and feelings of abundance, this is what it will try to develop into reality. Since it is always working, if the subconscious is not fed your desired thoughts and emotions, it will get to work on the thoughts and emotions already present, or it will pick up whatever is available from the environment. We will later further develop this concept so that you can better understand what television is doing to you or why you should be careful about speaking in the presence of a child when he can hear you. Imagine a dried up sponge. That will soak up whatever fluid it is placed in contact with. The sponge doesn't know the difference between water and a corrosive liquid. But the result will be that one will destroy the sponge and the other will make it go back to its natural state. By the way, a sponge is coincidentally the way we describe a baby's brain. Be extra careful. Intuition is not magic. Intuition is the way that your subconscious replies to questions you have asked it. When you think of a problem that is haunting you, you're actually sending a query to your subconscious. The computing power of the unconscious mind will elaborate on the information that you have delivered, utilizing the conscious mind. And when the unconscious mind, let us remember that it accounts for about 95% of our computing power, develops what it deems a solution, it will find a way to bring it to the attention of your conscious mind. This is a process that we call intuition or sixth sense, meaning the information was always at your disposal, but it had not yet been processed to be of any utility and it hadn't been brought to your full consciousness. The paradigm that is implanted in our subconscious, our existing program, is the one that we can actually see by analyzing the results that we obtained through our actions. This is a tricky concept, very important. Listen, let's elaborate on that a little more. It is of no use believing that in your subconscious there exists a paradigm, therefore a program, for wealth and success. Only if you are wealthy and successful, then your assumption about your paradigm is correct. Otherwise, that paradigm that you're thinking about simply is not there. If the results are not the one you desire, if you're not wealthy and successful, it means that the unconscious programs in your mind, which are completely unknown to your conscious mind, are not there. In the long period, we act according to those paradigms. Those paradigms instilled in our subconscious, and our actions produce the visible results that we have in our life, or the lack of visible results. If you have no results according to your desired outcome, it means that the program is not in your subconscious. The simplest way to really know where your paradigms are driving you is to look at where you are in life compared to your goals. But, luckily, there is absolutely no need to accept reality as it is. You have within you all the tools and means to succeed in any quest you desire and that you put yourself through. We're not taught about paradigms in school. So here we are, 20, 30, 40, 60 years later, living the same way we were programmed as little kids. The power of thought is the driver of all human actions and conquests. And it's also the only thing you can control. It's actually, think about it, soak it in, it's the only thing in your life that you can actually control. Your thoughts are the only thing you have control over. So now let's analyze. Let me share with you how to replace these paradigms, so these programs, with others that can appropriately drive your actions towards the results you desire. The following are 5 steps that you can implement to substitute an existing paradigms, so an existing program, with one that is instrumental in bringing you closer to your goal. So, since we can't not erase paradigms, we have to substitute an undesired paradigm the same way it was formed, through repetition of ideas. So, here we go. Point 1, we must have a very clear and definite goal. If the goal is not specific, the path to reach it cannot be easily defined. Therefore, the goal must be very, very detailed. It's not like saying, I want to be rich, but instead, I want to make $1 million by September of next year. The more you can pinpoint the results you desire, the better the subconscious can work the details out to make it a reality. Precision here is key. A weight loss must specify the number of kilos desired in a specific amount of time. Point number 2. Give yourself the assistance of self-convincing statements or commands. They're called affirmations. This must be a continuous activity. Enough active repetition in your conscious mind will eventually seep and set into your subconscious. Repeat affirmations like, I will face whatever comes with a positive attitude, or I have the power to create the life I desire, and other affirmations of this sort. Point number 3, harness the power of emotions to steer the subconscious mind. It is not enough to visualize and repeat. You have to attach a strong emotional connotation to your accomplishments. Feel as if you've had those results already under your belt. Emotionless thoughts do not stimulate the subconscious, as it doesn't understand logic or reason. You have to feel the feeling and include them in the positive feedback. Otherwise, all the negative stimulation around you will occupy the space left by an undefined message. The snowball effect will be enhanced as positive thoughts and emotions will attract more positive thoughts and emotions. Beware of disempowering thoughts and emotions because they work against you. An old proverb from Japan states, do not speak badly of yourself, for the warrior within hears your words and is lessened by them. Deliberately design positive and empowering thoughts, emotions, and feelings. Your subconscious doesn't know you are deliberately trying to trick it. It will nevertheless react to the stimuli. Point number 4. Visualize and fake it till you make it. See and feel as if the goal has already been accomplished. Do not imagine, do not think that your results are a distant possibility. You have to feel and experience that sense of accomplishment on your skin. Mental images are a part of the strategy to substituting autopilot programs in your mind. We should develop a mental image of the desired outcome. A mental image. See yourself successfully obtaining the results you want. Once you have managed a mental image, it's then time to build a physical replica. Build an image of your desired results, a positive and prosperous image, and then try, with repetition, to drive the concept home. You can also prepare visual aids to disseminate in your environment so that your subconscious has the possibility, without even noticing, to acquire the images you want to feed your subconscious mind. Prepare notes, sticky notes, and post them all over your house with positive messages of what you're trying to accomplish. Point 5. Repetition and persistence of repetition. Faith in your abilities and faith that things, in the end, will work out if you give it all you have. Positive thoughts, positive emotions, and endless repetition to substitute the existing paradigms with those we desire to implant in their place. Remember, we can't cancel them, we can only substitute them. Repetition is very useful as our limited attention span with active listening needs repeated stimulation before our whole concept is acquired and driven home. Of long and complex messages, we are only probably being receptive to some little parts at a time. Whenever our attention drifts off, that part we have not probably acquired. Therefore, listen and listen over and over to the message you're trying to acquire. Just to be clear, there can never be too much repetition. Each time you will discover something that the time before you had not realized. Mastery comes with familiarity, and familiarity is a product of repetition. You have to control your thoughts, and when you realize drifting away, reconduct them to your area of interest and keep the repetition going. To be fully transparent, there is another manner in which the paradigms in the subconscious mind can be substituted, which is through experiences and unexpected and traumatizing and emotional impact, but we won't go into that. I want to share a word of caution on the listening abilities of the unconscious mind. It hears and is affected by everything surrounding it. Make sure that you, directly or indirectly, only feed the unconscious mind quality contents. Beware of evil and negative indirect programming that can occur through careless listening to hate speech, reading negative and cumbersome stories, listening to pointless television arguments, or otherwise violent content. For the same reason, be wary of television programs that you keep in the background while you sleep. Your subconscious is listening. Kids are not empty boxes. They possess all the paradigms that their parents, willingly or not, have programmed in their minds. By the time babies develop their personalities around age 4, they're not empty slates. Stay away from the ears of the young ones in your family unless you want to install in their juvenile minds programs that they would best do without. Babies grew up with the programs that reflect what their surrounding is. Babies raised with the notions of grief, worry, and fear will be adults that resonate to grief, that resonate to worry, and resonate to fear, and will act accordingly. They will be afraid about their future and worried about life in general. Paradigms of scarcity and poverty will make it hard for the younger ones to accumulate wealth because that notion of wealth, that program of acquiring wealth is not present in their unconscious mind. And therefore, the young person has no tools to visualize themselves as wealthy and cannot implement strategies to attract wealth, as they cannot visualize a mental image of themselves without monetary issues. That's all they know. Luckily, the opposite is also true, but if the kid hears and sees depression, the growing adult will act on that paradigm. Try not to feed trash, consciously or unconsciously, willingly or unwillingly, to your unconscious because it knows no better and it will try to make it your reality. So, if you leave yourself no choice, the results will have to come sooner or later. If you can manage your way to cut ties with your past, sort of burning the boats or burning bridges behind you, as you give yourself no way to retreat or to back off your challenges, you will make the 5 principles much easier to implement. It's either to win or to die. If you're running out of money and have funds sufficient to last you only a certain amount of time, your subconscious will act in such a much more powerful way to try to survive the business before you go bust. If there are no external influences available, you can always put pressure on yourself by publicly committing to a goal and creating real deadlines with real consequences to develop a burning obsession. All this is to help you program your unconscious mind, because our consciousness is in no way powerful enough. It can get you off the starting blocks, but it will not carry you to the finish line. Only the subconscious can do that. This is motivation and inspiration in the dark, and that is all I have for you today. Thank you. If you appreciated this video, please consider subscribing and maybe sharing with a friend.